Despite the fact that Truex's full-time NASCAR career has come to an end, he continues to pursue his dream of winning the Daytona 500, and he has recently revealed his ambitious plan to make that dream come true. As a tribute to his days with Michael Waltrip Racing, Martin Truex Jr. will attempt to compete in the 67th running of the Daytona 500 while driving the number 56 Toyota. The Truck Series squad will be making their Cup debut with him behind the wheel for Tricon Garage. Truex will be reunited with his former crew chief, Cole Pearn, and the endeavor will be sponsored by Joe Gibbs Racing, which will provide technical support. Bass Pro Shops, a longtime partner, will also be providing support. Throughout his illustrious career, Truex has started approximately 700 Cup races, including 20 Daytona 500s. He has also won the Daytona 500. On the other hand, none of his 34 Cup victories include this particular race. Despite the fact that he has triumphed in crown jewel competitions like the Coca-Cola 600 and the Southern 500, Daytona has yet to be won by him. As a matter of fact, he has never been victorious in a superspeedway race while competing for the Cup. Nevertheless, Truex is venturing into unfamiliar terrain with this year's endeavor. After 20 years of trying and 20 years of frustration, Dale Earnhardt Sr. was able to win the Daytona 500 for the first time. This is the record for the most tries made by any driver in the history of the Cup before finally claiming the Harley J. Earl Trophy. If Truex is able to compete in the Daytona 500, he will make his 21st start in the race in 2025. If he were to win the 500 at this juncture in his career, it would be a step forward in terms of both history and the record books. Although the winner of the NASCAR Cup Series in 2017 has not yet won any pack racing events, this does not indicate that he has not come close to winning the most prestigious trophy in the sport of NASCAR. In point of fact, he has arrived at a greater distance than any other driver who has not yet won it. When Truex was competing in the Daytona 500 in 2016, he was defeated by Denny Hamlin in the race's most close finish ever, which was 0.010 seconds. Truex expressed his reaction to the news by saying, "It's going to be a really cool deal to be able to work with Cole and have the number 56 again. I would like to express my gratitude to everyone at Bass Pro Shops, Tricon, and Toyota for their assistance in organizing this event. I am looking forward to having a good time, and I cannot think of a better opportunity to win something for Johnny Morris, who is the CEO of Bass Pro Shops." As Truex Jr. is no longer competing on a full-time basis, however, there is no assurance that he will be accepted. In addition, there are currently 6 open entries that have been confirmed for the 500. Truex is joining the number 44 of J.J. Yeley, the number 62 of Anthony Alfredo, the number 78 of B.J. McLeod, the number 91 of Helio Castroneves, and the number 40 JR Motorsports entry, which consisted of the defending NASCAR Xfinity Series champion Justin Allgaier. In addition to the newly added Open Exemption Provisional, which is solely accessible to Castroneves in the event that he requires it, there are just 4 slots left on the grid. This gives the possibility of increasing the number of vehicles competing to 41. It is anticipated that Jimmie Johnson, a 7-time champion, will participate in the event. Additionally, there is the number 15 Rick Ware Racing entry, which leased its charter to the RFK number 60 and is currently an open team with unclear ambitions. It was originally planned for the number 66 MBM Motorsports team to compete in the event with Mike Wallace. However, as Wallace was unable to obtain approval, the team is currently frantically searching for a driver and a sponsor for the 500. One thing is certain, the qualifying process for the Daytona 500, which is broadcast on Fox, is unlike any other. It is not always the easiest thing to comprehend. Additionally, Truex Jr. will not have an easy time qualifying for the race. The new rule, which is an addition to the convoluted qualifying processes, has the potential to add a 41st car to what has often been a field of 40 cars in recent years. However, this does not guarantee that this will happen. Here, we will make an attempt to break down everything regarding the field that will be competing in the event that will take place on February 16th at Daytona International Speedway. The race is being competed for by the 36 drivers of chartered vehicles. After then, the open cars that are not chartered are used to fill the other available spaces. In total, there are 9 drivers who have entered the race: Anthony Alfredo, Justin Allgaier, Helio Castroneves, Jimmie Johnson, Corey LaJoie, B.J. McLeod, Chandler Smith, Martin Truex Jr., and J.J. Yaley. The open drivers do it in two different methods to earn their seats. One of the ways they can enter the competition is by finishing as the open driver with the top finish in their qualifying race on Thursday. Alternately, if they do not advance through their qualifying race, they have the opportunity to receive entry into the race by achieving a position in single-car qualifying on Wednesday that places them among the top 2 open cars, excluding those who advanced via the qualifying race. However, Castroneves is locked into the field as a result of a new regulation that will take effect in 2025. This rule will allow NASCAR to grant a spot to a driver who possesses elite credentials, which would help increase the marketing of the event. Castroneves is part of the open car category. Due to the fact that his Trackhouse racing team was the only one to submit an application for this special provisional before the deadline, NASCAR only evaluated him as a candidate for the special provisional. There is, however, a catch. Therefore, his team will not receive any prize money for the competition if he uses the provisional. In light of this, he is hoping to qualify his way in naturally. In the event that he naturally qualifies as an open vehicle, the field will consist of 40 cars, and 5 open cars will be eliminated from the competition. In the event that he does not qualify naturally, and will instead utilize the provisional, the field will consist of 41 cars, and 4 of the open cars will not be able to compete. Every one of the 45 vehicles will do 1 lap of qualifying on Wednesday evening, with the top 10 cars moving on to the second round, when they will complete another lap. When it comes to the Daytona 500, the drivers who finished first and second in the final round will be the ones to start on the front row. The driver who completed the fastest will receive the pole position. It is possible for the top 2 open drivers from Wednesday night to secure a spot in the Daytona 500 field. This is due to the fact that they have the ability to always fall back on their time in the event that they do not advance through the races on Thursday night. A total of 2 races, each consisting of 150 laps, will be held on Thursday night. These races will determine the starting lineup and fill the 2 remaining spaces in the field. On the basis of their qualifying speed on Wednesday night, the 36 charter teams will be distributed evenly between the 2 races. The first race will include those teams that are 1st, 3rd, 5th, and so on, while the second race will have those teams that are 2nd, 4th, 6th, and so on. In the same manner, the 9 open cars will be divided into 2 groups. 5 will compete in the first race, and 4 will compete in the second race. This will be done based on the qualifying speed of each driver. It is determined by the qualifying speed of each car how they will line up. A berth in the Daytona 500 is reserved for the open driver who finishes in first place in each of the races that take place on Thursday nights. Among the 7 drivers who are still eligible to compete, the 2 who had the highest qualifying speed on Wednesday night are also selected for the race. Castroneves will be placed in the 41st and last position in the field if he is not one of the open drivers who gets a slot. Additionally, 4 open drivers will not be able to qualify for the race. A total of 40 cars will be entered into the race if he is one of those 4 drivers. However, 5 of the open drivers will not be able to qualify for the competition. The results of the first race will determine the row that is located inside rows 2 through 19, and the results of the second race will determine the row that is located outside rows 2 through 19. Starting in row 20, spots 39 and 40, are the 2 open drivers that are able to make it into the race depending on their previous qualifying speed. The provisional entry would put Castroneves in the 41st position if he were to be accepted. Given that it will be the greatest field of open entries in a decade, the competition to qualify for the Daytona 500 in 2025 may prove to be just as entertaining as the race itself. Among the competitors are 2 drivers who have previously won the Cup, as well as a driver who has won the Indianapolis 500 4 times. At the end of the day, there will be 9 drivers competing for the final 4 or 5 slots on the grid, and Martin Truex Jr. will have to first defeat these competitors before he can move on to the actual race. But has he got a chance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.